There is a very good reason why I'm constantly saying do not trust video game journalists, because they're constantly misrepresenting what people are saying and only pushing pieces of information that could further the narratives that they want to dominate the video game industry. And now Kotaku's Alyssa Mercante is gloating after being accused of intentionally misrepresenting the farm folk CEO's comments about gamers. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. Now, of course, Alyssa has been very vocal when it's come to Gamergate 2.0, and she at every given chance has attacked gamers, and now we have the Farm Folk CEO coming out and saying that he was intentionally misrepresented, and I did previously cover this Kotaku article in another video, so I think it's very important to put his side of the story out there, especially when he's accusing a big outlet like Kotaku of doing such a thing. This is a That Park Place article. It says the whole controversy started when the Farm Folks game asked its community about female breast jiggle physics. The game posted a few different options and saying, does anyone want to see what 150% looks like? What do people think about jiggle physics, and which version has the perfect breast jiggle physics? And of course, I, as a woman, think that it's great to be asking your community these questions, especially when we're talking about a kickstarted game. Therefore, consumers are the very reason why your game exists in the first place. I think that it's great to put out polls and get community feedback, but they actually deleted this post and apologized when they started facing quite a lot of backlash, and it was primarily started because of the DEI consultancy group Black Girl Gamers. They decided to say this ain't it and attack them over the breast physics that they were highlighting, and I personally did not think that they should have apologized. I don't think that there was any reason for them to bend the knee to outrage, especially from activists that are at companies like Black Girl Gamers, because these people do not represent what gamers actually want, or of course the community that Farm Folks already had clearly. And a lot of people were calling them out on their apology. I even called them out on it, and those videos are still up on the channel. But he actually did an interview with Alyssa, which she alleges was an hour long, and in that interview, Alex appears to decry gamers, saying, you have to be a very poor person to kind of sexualize this, like the internet is full of sex right now. There's some crazy things that you can find if you're having problems with our characters, like look for help, maybe go and date a woman or something like that, because that is not our goal. We do not want to attract people that are attracted to only these body parts. And yeah, I mean, it did not sound good for him. I mean, this sounds like a CEO who is triggered over the fact that people are criticizing him and his video game, but he also indicated that he did not want certain nasty people to play the game. But to answer your question, no, we don't want to attract nasty people. We do not want any of those. And not only did he decry gamers, but appears that he was specifically disparaging the former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern. Mercante quoted him saying, F that, I don't care what he thinks, I'm apologizing for structuring it badly. If we were to rewind the times, we would skip that. But now he has gone on social media and said this is actually not the case, this is not what he implied. His first tweet was, this is not what I implied, and it is misrepresented here. I meant that if you're against natural breast movement, this statement applies to you. We don't want exaggerations, and at the same time, we would love to have natural, elegant motion in our own characters' bodies. And this statement sounds great, and I completely agree. It's fine to not have completely exaggerated motions where, you know, the tip of her breast touches her face every time she jumps because it's so jiggly, but at the same time, yes, there should be some kind of natural, elegant motion, because newsflash, breasts do actually jiggle and move around in real life. And this statement, I gotta be honest, sounds really positive. My comments were directed towards the people who have issues with natural body motion in our game, not towards the people who appreciate it. I was intentionally misrepresented. Somebody said, why didn't you say this instead of telling people to look for help and to date a woman? And he said, it might be because of my limited English vocabulary, and I thought I expressed myself clearly. I feel it's very misrepresented intentionally, and this would not surprise me. You know, typically when I read articles from the Kotakus and the gamers, I highlight the fact that these people are not to be trusted, and it seems like, yes, he maybe was not able to get his words across as clearly as he thought he did, but either way, Alyssa, it sounds like, straight up was not honest about what he was saying. And Alyssa actually said, I said this to him during our interview, but the Farm Folk CEO attempts to not be political or very naive in the current climate. His replies are very telling. You got pulled into a culture war because you don't have a community manager who knew that titty physics wasn't the move, chief. Then you apologized. Then the physics gooners got mad that you apologized. Then I interviewed you. Them's the breaks. She is completely boasting about the fact that she got this interview, and she is not even trying to clear the air when it comes to the claims that he's making, which are very serious claims. As a journalist, no matter which industry you're a part of, you are supposed to be, in a lot of cases, unbiased, which we know is definitely not the case for the video game industry, but you're also supposed to be accurately representing what the person you're interviewing is saying. At this point, people like Alyssa have proven time and time again that you cannot read the Kotakus and the gamers and expect fair coverage of situations. People like Alyssa are angry political activists who wish they worked for CNN or MSNBC instead of a gaming outlet because they don't care about the gaming industry. And this is why I read and cover so many of their articles, because they do not deserve to be part of our industry when they're simply trying to tear it apart. She also actually plays the victim because one of the DMs shows her asking if he will retract his comments as she continues to claim that she's being harassed. This is pretty pathetic, right? Because you are the one who is being accused of misrepresenting someone's words, and ultimately people are criticizing the things that she is doing and the things that she has said over the past couple of months since Gamergate 2 really started, and she's kind of gloating about wanting his comments and thoughts to be accurately represented. It just goes to show that you cannot trust people like this. And of course, we will never know the full story, right? It's not like we are going to get Alex and Alyssa sitting down together again, talking about this on, a YouTube channel or in a live discussion where people can actually hear without anything being edited. But at the same time, people are, reacting pretty positively to this. Della Rose had said, apologies for my coverage on this. I'll do an updated video clarifying that she misrepresented you. And that's why I'm doing this video now, because these are serious accusations. And it is pretty sad to see someone, even if I don't respect Kotaku, almost trying to, of course, use someone else's game as a prop in the culture war to try to further her side, and of course further, unfortunately, the claim that they're trying to have on the video game industry. The blogger you interacted with was never interested in representing you fully, honestly, or in good faith. We tried to tell you and you still bent the knee. It's up to you to ride the sinking ship. Listen to gamers, not the journalists or consultancy firms, and this is very true. They did ultimately still remove the post, apologize for anybody being offended by the jiggle physics, and apologizing to narrative consultancy groups like Black Girl Gamers. And it will be interesting to see if they decide to actually repost the jiggle physics poll and ask people questions about it, and ultimately what jiggle physics will make it into the final product, because that will be extremely telling if there is basically zero physics and all of this was just a massive, massive, PR stunt or something like that. Only time will tell. I, of course, will be keeping my eye on this, but of course, Alyssa Mercante has been melting down over the fact that she is being accused of intentionally misrepresenting the CEO, and she is still playing the victim. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.